Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Really looking forward to this. We've got John in the background waiting to come on. It's been a little while for him with his visit to Newcastle, and he's just got back home and settled again. I know Gary's not going to be in the chat tonight, and we wish him all the best. Don't know if I'm allowed to say what's happened, but he's just got something going on, and I just want to wish him the best because he's a long-standing member of this channel, and he's always in the chat. So we're going to miss him tonight. Hi all, please remember to keep comments respectful. Super chats are available in the bottom right-hand corner. If you want to donate, donations run the channel and then go to charity if we've got anything left over. Evening, Ches. Evening, Leslie. John says hello to everyone. Even John, he is feeling better. Kieran and Nick, way just got in from work to catch the show. Happy days. I'm just getting used to this new layout now because StreamYard's decided to change things, which is a bit of a nightmare. I should have spent some time looking at it today, but I've not had any time to do that. But again, Newcastle decided to start building some momentum. So what happens? The media decides to throw something out there just to pay us off, basically. Apparently, reps of multiple Newcastle players in the dark over unpaid agent fees due in September. No explanation of why or when they're going to get paid. But hey, they're parasites, so who cares? They deserve it. Right. How we doing, John?
Hey, I'm all right.
Happy days.
Looking forward to seeing you and talking. Sorry to hear Gary's out for a bit because I watched you and him in that last show. That was a great show, man. I really enjoyed it. And
yeah, I asked Gary if he wants to come back. There's a different Gary who's not in the chat tonight.
Oh, okay.
Gary's, but I have actually asked Gary to come on, but again, he's just been ignorant and not answering my text message. So there you go. He likes to do that to me. Right, let's talk about Carabao Cup draw very quickly because it is on everyone's lips. We haven't had a chance to discuss it on the show because when we did the show yesterday, we ended it well before the draw. The draw was at 10:30 at night. There was no way I was missing the darts. So the Carabao Cup draw, we've got Arsenal.
Yeah.
I personally am very happy with that draw. I don't know about you.
I was thrilled. I knew that we got picked first. And then I thought, well, they're going to give us Liverpool or they're going to give us Arsenal because they're not going to make those two teams play early before the final, right? Yeah. Hoping that maybe both of them can line up. But yeah, I was thrilled because the only thing I wanted out of this was I want the second game at St. James, and we got that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thrilled. We haven't been intimidated by Arsenal, so. They might take one down there, but still, we're not going to be intimidated. So we'll give them a tough game.
Oh, yes. I honestly think it's probably the best draw we could have got. Spurs, I think, are going to be as hungry as we are because they've not won a trophy for ages.
Yeah.
And they don't have European football.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Arsenal have European football. They're also in the FA Cup, just like us still. So fixture pile-ups are going to happen in January and February because of it. So I personally think Arsenal is the better one because we've got a shocking record against Liverpool, let's face it.
Yeah.
So we really want Spurs to do a number on Liverpool because I don't want to see them in the final. I really don't.
Yeah.
But this is how the fixtures look. So that's in January. So the Newcastle fixture is going to be right in between Brighton and Arsenal Man United FA Cup game.
Wow.
We're going to be away to Arsenal in between there. So that is tough for Arsenal. And then you look at February, they're playing Man City on the 2nd of Feb, then they'll play us, and then they're playing Leicester away. And I said this competition is a hindrance online for Arsenal. Got jumped on because apparently I was being disrespectful to the competition. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Arsenal made 8 changes against Crystal Palace. Isn't that being disrespectful to the competition because you don't put out your best side? Yeah. It's like tit for tat stuff. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, Arsenal are probably going to have to make changes again. They made 8 changes against Palace. They ended up making obviously the substitutions and winning the game. Liverpool made countless changes when they won the competition. They actually stuck with them in the final as well.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for us. All we've got to do is stay in the tie from the first leg, don't we? Because
Yeah,
got them
absolutely.
under the thumb at St James's Park, haven't we?
Oh yeah, yeah, and people will show up for that game. People
Oh,
will be revved up for that game. So I'm hoping that maybe I can stick around and see it myself. Um, so yeah, look forward to it. I don't mind having Arsenal. I think it's fine.
I love that. Basil, the old man, loving the darts. He has a balls tournament to watch after tonight's show. No, the darts is on again. If you don't like darts, I don't know how you don't like darts at this time of year. It's what's on the TV. Afternoon games, night games. It goes all the way through to the 3rd of January. It's incredible. Evening, Mick. Hope you're well. Darts is honestly, it's amazing. It's one of the best sports out there. I can't wait to play some darts. I'm going to get a stand and put my board on it and everything. It's going to happen. Press conference. So Eddie Howdy's press conference today. Again, I just love listening to him speak. He's absolutely fantastic. Some of the questions he got asked, you just think, well, what's the point in asking that? He's not going to say anything. So there was the January transfer window came up. What sort of situation in Newcastle in? Have you got any targets? Are we selling anyone? He's just like, well, on regards to selling anyone, it's none of my business. I'm just here to look after the players who are at this football club and give them the respect that they deserve. So he's not going to give anything away, is he?
Right.
I don't know why they ask these questions. I know they've got to, but it seems pointless, doesn't it?
Yeah, but by the way, I'll just say right up front, I missed the press conference, so you'll have to carry the ball here. But I'm impressed about the way he answers the question very diplomatically without giving anything away.
Yeah.
And he comes up with a new way of doing it each time. So he's really very good at the press conference bit,
Yeah. He's brilliant at it. I love it. He was asked about incomings as well, and he said, "Well, we're in a situation where we've only loosely spoke about it." Yeah, right. Of course, they haven't loosely spoken about it. Are there any targets? Well, of course, we have targets. So
I hope he's saying, yeah, we don't have much going on, but
yeah. Honestly, he's terrible for it.
You never know. We've been through these things. I remember in the past, it was pretty ugly. There was all this talk. We're going to get this guy. We're going to get this guy. And nothing would happen. And I was thrilled when it changed right near the end when Ashley was going out, when they got Willock. It was like, yes, we got this guy who's on loan. He's now ours, And
that was the full budget that year, wasn't it? 25 million.
25K, 25. It wasn't anywhere near the numbers we have now with spending for players. But
I mean, there's got to be money there, hasn't there? Because let's face it, we tried to sign Alanga at the last minute. We tried to sign Gear for how long? That means there is money there. It's just whether we want to spend it in January or do we take the risk and wait till the summer and then maybe have a bigger window. His players have got to leave, and he's never going to say who's leaving or who's got bids in, because if it falls through and he's in the press saying, oh yeah, we're getting rid of this player, this is the reason why, and all that sort of stuff, if the player ends up staying, you end up losing that relationship with that player, don't you?
Right. Well, not only that, I mean, you can't favor any one of your players. You've got to be kind and fatherly with all of them. You've got to bring them along, and he's been very good at that. And so for him to turn around and say, yeah, we're going to get rid of this guy or that guy, it's not going to happen from him. It's going to come from somewhere else. And I appreciate the way he handles the players. He managed them very well.
He does. You mentioned Tonali. Obviously, Tonali's performance was fantastic on Wednesday night. 2 goals. And he was asked about his demeanor because he never seems to break character, does he?
Right.
Yeah, he's like cool cucumber, isn't he?
He's the cool guy right from the movie, right from Hollywood, And I love the glasses. He had the Clark Kent look going on social media. Everybody picked up on that. He's played fantastic in the last 2 games, and we don't want to see him come off. And I don't think there was talk way back that he couldn't play with Bruno, and they hadn't figured it out yet, right? They just hadn't
Exactly.
figured it out. But now both of them are excelling. I mean, they're really thriving, and they keep switching off, and they're complementing each other. The whole team is playing really, really good right now.
Absolutely. And what that was asked in the press conference about Bruno and Tonali's sort of relationship on and off the pitch. Apparently, they've always been friends, which is great. But he said that because we've had Tonali missing for a year, it's hard to get that relationship going on the pitch in a training scenario. You need to be on the pitch in a battle, facing the adversity it is in a football game, the good bits, the bad bits. You got to face it together to build that relationship. And they said you're now starting to see the fruits of that. But he also said it's not just them two. There's another person in that midfield who also has to be just as good. And that was Joe Linton on Wednesday night for the first half. He was fantastic.
Yeah. It's too bad he got banged up, but it's a good time for him to rest, right?
Yes. Well, he's suspended anyway, so it's kind of come at if you get a slight injury, that's the best time to get it is when you're suspended, isn't it?
Right.
You never want to see a player injured, but it's a good time for it because he gets an extra week off. Apparently, he had stitches around his ear.
Yeah, that looked pretty nasty, man. That looked pretty nasty.
I don't know how the player didn't get sent off. He lead with his elbow and everything. But there was no VAR. So
well, and the referee had talked to both of them before about them, getting in each other's face, and sure enough, he fouled him. He fouled Joe Linton, and then he stepped on him. I know that part was not intentional, but I'd probably feel the same way if I was Joe Linton. The guy knocks me over and then steps on me. I don't care.
I was right in line with it when Joe Linton was on the floor, and I could see how angry he was getting. And I said to the guys around me, I said, someone's got to grab a hold of him.
Yeah.
Because he is going to, when he gets on his feet, he's going to go ballistic. And he did, didn't he? And luckily there was enough people around him and players around him to sort of hold him back, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they did tap hands later in the game. I don't know if you saw that yourself, but they did tap hands and sort of make peace. I think he realised it wasn't intentional, the bit on the floor, but the elbow was a bit naughty for me. So
it was.
The other thing that was mentioned was obviously goals from other positions. It's nice to see, three goals scored. Isak wasn't one of them. We had Shah and Tonali scoring them, both of them.
Right.
And he basically said, they don't set targets for defenders to score goals, but they want them to contribute. They plan things in training on set pieces and things like that. So, but he has said, obviously, midfield's got to chip in a little bit more because you can't just rely on one man up front. Otherwise, you're going to struggle.
Right. Yeah. What was nice about Shah's goal was the way Bruno just gave him that ball, at the right time.
Yeah.
And
cool and composed.
Oh yeah, it's hard to do that when you're right in front. It's just to look and pass it. He knew what he was doing without even thinking. He's so quick, Bruno, and luckily we got that one in. But Shah, he's got a kick on him, and he's always hanging around, and he manages to get back and play defense too. So I like watching him.
Yeah. The whole team's just been obviously mentioned about confidence, where would you mark it in percentage wise where the players are? He said, look, they're getting there. The bodies are a bit tired, but confidence, and you do feel a bit stronger when you're winning, don't you? When you're losing and you start getting fatigued, it kind of plays on you, doesn't it? And it makes it worse. But when you're winning, you're kind of like, I could run through a brick wall again.
Hey, I've been sick, but the last 2 days I felt great. I'm still feeling good about that win, and the 2 in a row. I'm feeling great.
Exactly.
So I know they're feeling great, and I know the city is just doing just wonderfully right now. And that's what Dan and I are excited about. We get to come over when things are rolling. Let's keep it going.
Still a lot more games before you come over.
I know, but I think we're going to keep on going. I'm
I hope
feeling
so.
hopeful.
I hope so.
At the same time, let's say we go down to Ipswich and it ends up 2-2. It's like, okay, take it and keep going, because they play people tough. I mentioned this in a little video. It's like they play people tough, and we just got to be ready for them, and we'll have a different lineup, so you never know. We don't always perform well on the road, but I think back to even that Brentford match that I actually got a ticket to, and went down there.
Didn't
It
play
was
that badly in that game. We just
no, we
defended
didn't.
poorly.
It fell apart at the end, but we played tough. We were still doing okay. It just fell apart at the end there.
Yeah. Well, we just didn't defend well in the second half, did we? We created enough chances to win that game. We were just
exactly, and that's what happened in this last game. You saw we scored early, and when we score early, we can get on a roll. We just know how to play better. But if we miss those chances up front, I guess we start to doubt ourselves or something, and the other team gets a little life back. It can be tough. So we got to go down there and score right away, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's like in darts. Someone misses a double, the other man hits it. That's it. Game over.
Yeah.
No point in talking about players that we're linked with because Eddie Howe said we're not going for anyone. But yes, he is a very good player, and if we can get him for 30 million euros, I would love to see it. Good night, Mick. Have a great Christmas, mate. But if you are around, we will be live tomorrow. We will be live on Sunday. We will be live on Monday, and I might be live on Tuesday as well. I don't know yet. So it's a very busy period for me. Yes, Bakayoko. We're going to smash Ipswich tomorrow. I can feel it. Oh, right. The last part of the press conference was obviously Eddie Howe talking about Ipswich and about their strengths and about what they can do. Kieran McKenna's done an unbelievable job at Ipswich to get them from the lower leagues, from League One to Championship to the Premiership. It reminds me a little bit of Eddie Howe's steady rise as a football management. Took lower league jobs with Bournemouth, got them up into the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, Bournemouth obviously have done a lot better than what Ipswich are doing, but Ipswich have been very unlucky. They've not got a win on home turf yet this season, so they'll be.
Let's keep that going.
Yeah, let's keep it going. But he said, he's only got praise for him, which I mean, there are only 2 English managers left in the Premier League now. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I think Eddie is very respectful of all the other managers because he knows what they go through. So yeah, he's always going to be that way. But yeah, Ipswich, it's pretty exciting for them to be up in the league, and I like to see new teams come up. Hopefully they'll keep it together, and if they go back down, they bounce back up a year or so from now. But they, like I said, they play people tough. So
yeah, they've got a chance of staying up. I mean, they keep themselves in games, which is what you've got to do. You've just got to be a bit more clinical in the moments that they need to be in. I wonder. Sean Dyche for the minute bars. Sean Dyche for the minute bars. No, I don't like Sean Dyche. The other thing. Oh yeah, Sean Dyche is the English manager, isn't he? Yeah, sorry, Leslie, I'll get you now. I read somewhere that they were the only 2 left, but obviously not. That article was obviously wrong. So there's three English managers left. The other thing they mentioned is obviously Sir Bobby Robson, Derby. This isn't it? Obviously,
yeah, that's right.
He spent a lot of time down in Ipswich, but before he moved into PSV Eindhoven and Porto, Barcelona, and then obviously coming home to Newcastle when he did. Should have came earlier. Devastated he didn't. But again, Eddie Howe spoke brilliant of it, just saying, I am very aware of his legacy. And obviously he wants to, do everyone proud by him and the club and everything. So it's just nice to hear that sort of thing, isn't it? Especially with such a good relationship that we have with Ipswich and Newcastle because of Sir Bobby Robson.
Yeah. I think what's funny about Eddie. I'm changing the subject just slightly here, guys.
That's all right.
If Eddie left tomorrow, he would still be one of the best managers that Newcastle's had in terms of what he's done. Yeah, it'd take a lot to catch up with Bobby Robson and some of the others, but yeah, I respect Eddie a lot, and I like the way he respects other people. He's good.
So, I mean, Eddie Howe was almost done the same job as what Bobby Robson did.
Robson
when we were near the bottom of the league, turned the form around very quickly, got us into Champions League football.
Yep.
Eddie Howe's done the same thing, got us from bottom of the league, no wins in the Premier League, then gets us to Champions League football, gets us to a cup final, which nobody's done since Kenny Dalglish and Ruud Gullit. You know, it's an incredible job that he's done.
And that's what I mean. If he left tomorrow, it might take people a little time to realize they really had it good when he was here, you know.
Well, he's not going anywhere. To all the Eddie Howe haters.
Yeah.
He ain't going anywhere. And Bruno's not going anywhere. And Isaac's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But there we go. Before we jump to the next segment, just don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying it. Hit the thumbs up button. There is a membership option. It's very cheap. And we give away a $40 gift card to Diet Crow once a month. Code BAZ20 for 20% off. Link is in the description. They've got some amazing t-shirts. There's even a channel t-shirt as well. And we don't get any of the money. It all goes to that business because we appreciate they were the very first sponsor this channel's ever had. And we like to give Spenny as much as we can. Much praise as we can as well. He's a fantastic gentleman. And then obviously don't forget about Football Prizes, another fantastic sponsor, an Alan Shearer signed custom lead frame Newcastle shirt. But you could also win potentially an Andy Cole signed boot, a Tino Asprilla shirt, a Peter Beardsley shirt, a Gaza shirt, a Rob Air shirt, and a few scarves. Absolute unbelievable competition. This ends on Christmas Eve. Probably drawn on Boxing Day, I think. I don't think they'll be working Christmas Day. But there's only 499 tickets, guys, so you've got a good chance of winning something. And we've obviously won something by putting in the sponsorship money back into buying tickets, which we will be raffling off ourselves when we do our amazing night on the 16th of January. Come down, £10 a ticket, superfandan831@gmail.com to register your name and pay your tenner. And you can come and get a photograph taken with the boys. We've got Luke Edwards to talk about a January window. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talking points. So really looking forward to doing that. And then we're going to go in town and get pissed afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, that comes at a great time. You're right. There could be a lot going on in January.
I think there will be.
Yeah, I hope we've put a few wins under our belt and we're really right in the thick of things by then too.
Yeah, exactly. Right into we'll be halfway through the window, basically.
Yeah.
There could be stuff already done. Yes, Leslie's got a t-shirt. This says the quality. I've got one. The boys have got one when they come over because I've sorted that out. But yeah, we're going to be right in the middle of the thick of it. We might already have business done, but we can also find out, we can find out as much as we want. We can ask as many questions as we want. It won't be recorded. So Luke can be as honest as he wants to be. And I think it's going to be a great night to do, basically. And it's all for charity, all for Stanley Deaf Club, all for the food bank. All the money is going to those two great causes. Without Eddie, we wouldn't have survived that season. He came in and saved us from relegation. Absolutely, John. Spot on.
He turned it around. It was great.
He did. It was unbelievable. And not a lot of people talk about it enough, I don't think. Right, let's have a look at a few interesting stuff that's going on at the moment. Win probability, 20% Ipswich, 24% the draw, 56% Newcastle.
Good.
I don't like it when we're that high, though. I like it when we're underdogs. And then we win more when we're underdogs than we do when we're favorites.
It's always fun. But we just need wins. And we have to stop thinking about, is it a hard game or a soft game? Is it a tough opponent or a hard opponent? They're all tough. Go down there and beat them.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter what game you're playing in the Premier League. This season's proven anyone can beat anyone.
Absolutely. I've always thought that.
Yeah. And this is a tough game. And the laws of probability says Ipswich are due a home win. So
that's the thing I don't want to hear.
Yeah. We're sitting in 12th on 23 points, but we're only at something like 5 points off 4th. It's crazy, the Premier League this season. Ipswich at 18 for 12 points, obviously struggling. But again, they're not far off, being all right.
Yeah.
They've got some worries. Obviously, I mean, this game's come at the perfect time for us. Liam Delap is suspended as a result of accumulating 5 yellow cards. He's obviously their massive threat up front. So very, very happy that's happened. Fellow forward George Hurst is out with a knee injury, meaning that Ali Al-Hamidi could be given his first Premier League start for Ipswich. Obviously, Joe Linton is serving a 1-match ban, but I think he would have been out with his injury anyway. You've got Emil Kraft out, Jamal Lascelles out, Nick Pope out, Callum Wilson out, all missing the Christmas period. Sven Botman is close to a return. I can't wait to see Sven Botman.
That's going to be big when he starts to come in. Maybe not the first game, but when he starts to feel comfortable and he's in there, that's going to be big for us. I would argue this game doesn't necessarily come at a good time for us because it's only 3 days away from our last game. So I just hope the guys are rested. And, I read a really good article about Bunce, the guy who's overseeing the medical stuff and the physical training and all that. And I hope that, on these times when we got 3 days, at least one of those is a day of rest, complete rest.
I think it will be. It will be.
And because that's one of those thick times where you got a weekend game, you got a midweek game, and then here we are, you got another weekend game. So I hope we're in good shape going down there.
Oh, I'm sure we will be, but this is still a good time to play them when they're missing their key striker because he is
absolutely, absolutely.
Steve, I absolutely agree with this. Eddie Howe is a great bloke and an excellent ambassador for the club and the region. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
A win is a win. Don't understand why we can't just be allowed to celebrate it without naysayers jumping in. That's just football for you, isn't it? Yeah. Darts is the best. Great memories of nights in the Rezzes, the Black Horse and the Seahorse. Yes, Debs. It's one of my mum's friends. Yes, I played a lot of darts against the ladies. Beat them a lot of the times. But yes, darts is fabulous. I like what you said there, Baz. Anyone can beat anyone. That's what a healthy football league should be about. Imagine where it would be if others were allowed to compete. Oh, let's not go down that rabbit hole tonight, Jez.
Well, he's got a good point. We just don't want to focus on it.
That's got to be Nick talking. Newcastle -2 is the bet tomorrow. So that basically means that Newcastle have to win by 3 goals. So they can't win 3-1. They have to win 4-1. I think that's a dodgy bet, mate. Who do you think will score tomorrow? I think Isaac and Tonali and Gordon. I do think Gordon will get on the score sheet.
I think it's time for him. And Isaac, he's due. He didn't get one last week or last game. So, he's due.
There was a guy in our Facebook group called the Leicester game 4-0, spot on, had a bet on it, won about 200 quid, 10-1. He put 20 quid on it. And then he said to me, we'll beat Brentford 3-1 and Tonali will score anytime. I was like, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I was like, I messaged
What's
him
his name? Give me his phone number.
I messaged him again and said, "Did you bet on that?" He said, "Yep, I had two doubles, 2 singles, or whatever it was." I was just like, "Yes." He said, "I'm going for the hat trick."
Oh my God!
I think he said we'd win 3-1.
Well,
I think he said Gordon anytime, and I said,
if I was in Newcastle, I'd bet right along with him because of how well he's done.
Can you not put bets on anyway? I wonder if I can find him.
No, we'll cover it later.
Well, I'm just like, I can't remember if it was at Mick. Yeah, there it is. And Anthony, he's called. He said definitely 3-1 and Tonali to score anytime on Wednesday. That's what he said for the Brentford game. I said, you bang on, unreal. And then he put, I had £10 doubles, 6-1 and 3-1. He won 280 quid. Might try the hat trick on Saturday. 3-1, Toon and Gordon to score anytime is what he said. So
I like that.
If he's on a roll, he's the man to follow because he's on a hat trick.
Yeah.
But I've gone 2-0. We'll come to that later on. Right, let's have a little look at the Ipswich potential side. Obviously, we've just heard about the lap being out, and he's a colleague. Hutchinson's a good player. Got to be careful of him. Davis at left back. He is quality, by the way. Eddie Howe singled him out in his press conference as well. He said he had so many assists in the Championship last season. It was unreal. He sort of did a Kieran Trippier job. He was very consistent, getting balls in, getting assists. So he's a one to look out for as well.
Who is that?
Davies, the left back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one to keep an eye on going forward. So, and Hutchinson's a good player as well. So Tino and Murphy have got their hands full down that side.
Yeah.
But again, it's got to be about us, isn't it? Our midfield have got to impose themselves. They've got to win that first 15 minutes. And then we've got to get Gordon in the game as much as possible, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Isak. I mean, if he didn't have a goal last game, it's like, come on, guy. You got to get the ball to him and let him do his magic.
Because Gordon was fantastic on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he was a hardworking guy, man.
I didn't know Davis was a Newcastle fan. There you go. But again, we've got one of the best young backs and full-backs in the league, and there's no point in Davis coming to Newcastle at the moment.
No.
I mean, I don't know too much about Ipswich. Obviously, I've seen them battle. I've seen them play decent football. I don't really know where their weak spots are going to be. I mean, it does look like it'll be down the right-hand side, looking at the stats. Obviously, their left back is very good, so we've got to be careful of him. So I think Gordon is going to be very much in the game, like he has been. The tactics always seem to be down the left, which frees up Murphy on the right because the defenders get sucked over.
Yeah,
Murphy holds his position. He's going to get chances again.
Yeah, score. And Murphy, has played pretty well. I think he had nice. He moved the ball through the middle a few times. We've had chances for assists, and then he had a really nice assist. So I think Murphy's playing pretty well.
He is.
As much as we can expect.
He's got the balance back into the side, hasn't he? I think that's probably the best way to describe him.
Yeah.
Gary's in the house. I hope your up went well, mate. Obviously, it has because you're texting us. So I hope you're all right. Okay, Holmes. Oh, actually, he's even home as well. Dose up to the eyeballs. Brilliant. I love it. You get well soon, mate. This is how we could potentially line up. Now, there's a talking point for us in the midfield because obviously Joe Linton's suspended. He will be the only change, I believe. I don't think anybody else will be rested or taken out of the lineup. So who do we start? Now, Willock came on at half-time for Joe Linton. Longstaff was still sitting on the bench. But Longstaff seems to be the go-to player when we're starting a game. So would you start Longstaff or would you start Willock?
I'd like to see Willock start. And then just play as long as you can, and not tire, and then put Longstaff in.
Yeah, I don't think Willock's got 90 minutes in his legs yet, has he? Because he's still coming back from injury, isn't he?
Yeah, I just don't feel he doesn't look like he does. So I would start him because we need that burst at the beginning, and just monitor the situation.
Do you not think Willock's more dangerous when he comes off the bench when they're tired and he's got his legs? Because, I mean, I watched him against Brentford when he came on in that second half, and I thought he was very good running at them with the ball. They didn't know how to handle him at times.
Yeah, I think he's dangerous for the first 30 or 40 minutes he's out there, no matter when he comes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably start him.
Do you know, I'm going to be contradictory, and I'll say I'd rather start Longstaff because it's an away game.
Right.
We need to win that midfield battle in the first 15 minutes. I think Longstaff's equipped more as a defensive-sided player than Willock is.
Yeah.
So I think you win that battle in midfield, and then it starts to open up more, and then you bring Willock on, and then he's got more of a chance of, showing his attributes going forward.
Yeah.
I loved Willock. I think Willock is a much better footballer than Sean Longstaff. I'm not saying Longstaff's better than Willock. I'm just saying in this situation, with it being an away game, I would probably start Longstaff just to have a bit more steel in that midfield.
Yeah, well, you presented it well. You have good reasons. It's a coin flip, really, to me. I like them both for different reasons. But I just want to see people. I want to see us attacking
Yeah,
right
oh
off,
yeah,
right off
hell
the
yeah.
bat.
But we still got Gordon, you still got Bruno, you still got Tonali,
Yeah,
Isaac.
yeah,
They're all very capable of going forward. You add
and
Willock
even
to that.
and even Hall. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Lewis Hall down the left, you got Tino down the right. I
yep,
just think if you start Willock, I think we might be a bit too attacking.
yeah.
And I
Well,
think that gives Ipswich a bit of a chance to hit us on the break. So I
yeah,
just think for the first 45 minutes, especially, I think Longstaff will probably start. But again, I could be wrong because I mean, he picked Willock over Longstaff on Wednesday night. There's no reason why he won't pick Willock to start the game. So it's going to be an
yeah.
interesting one.
It will,
Uh,
and you got good reasoning there. I mean, you're making a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, we still got to cover the back. We still
yeah,
got
we can't be too gung ho. Did you hear
right.
that, everyone? Someone said I talk sense.
You did. You did. I speak with my heart so much in when it comes to Newcastle. So yeah, I'll give you that.
I love it. Uh, the other thing is, as well as obviously a lot of rumors that apparently Dubravka could be leaving in January. Now, I find that very difficult to believe when Pope's injured and he's starting games. Now, the only way I would believe it is if we've actually got Trafford lined up to come in straight away.
Yeah, and that's the part we don't know. Eddie's not going to tell you, but
Exactly.
or nobody else in the organization is going to tell you either. But I don't know. I think he was really disenchanted at points last year and early on. So um, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. It would be a shame because he does a good job as a backup. He really does.
Pulled
Uh,
off a very good one-on-one save, didn't he, on Wednesday night when Wissa was running through on goal?
yeah,
Obviously didn't keep the clean sheet, but that's not really his fault. That
that was the defense was yeah,
was the midfield, was the Sula losing the ball in midfield, and then that pass
yeah,
was fantastic to Mbeumo, and Bremo did the right thing, squaring it. Just a good goal, really, but
yeah,
lost at the front rather than at the back, so can't really
yeah.
complain about
We always seem to give up a chance like that, and
that. Yeah.
it unfortunately it was at the end of a very very good game, but
Mhm.
everybody kind of but at that point it was 3-1. It was like, okay, if that's all that happens, that's fine.
Yeah.
It really wasn't fine, but at least okay, we
It
can.
wouldn't have been if they scored another quick one, then there would
Oh
have
my
been a
god,
lot of twitchy
yeah,
bums,
that
wouldn't there?
I don't want to go through that.
Oh man, send me some codeine, Gary. I could use that for my back.
Hey, he should get on tonight. He could be exciting.
Yeah, I think what are all those lights?
Gary, Gary, I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay.
I love it. So head to head, Newcastle have lost just one of their 8 Premier League games against Ipswich, winning 4 and drawn 3. I remember Peter Beardsley scoring a cracker, and Andy Cole when we beat them 2-1 down at Portman Road. I think it was the first season back in the Premier League. Cracking game that was as well. That sole defeat came at Portman Road in April 2001. So that tells you how long ago it was. And obviously, Ipswich had been down in the cold rooms for a while. The Tractor Boys won the most recent meeting, 3-1 at home, the championship in April 2017. So that was the last time. So that's a while ago. Newcastle just lost one of their 8 Premier League games against Ipswich, winning 4, drawn 3. That's all they've done. All that. The Tractor Boys. Ipswich is the only Premier League team without a home win this season. So drawn 4 and losing 4. Their most recent top flight victory at Portman Road was 1-0 against Middlesbrough in April 2022. So they're desperate for that win, aren't they?
Yeah.
Town have just scored 5 goals, 5 second-half goals in the Premier League this season, the fewest of any side. So you keep them quiet for the first 45 minutes, they really struggle in the second half. So that's a good stat to look at, because if you go in a half time and we're 0-0 or 1-0 up, you would fancy us to win the game, because they don't seem to come out in the second half as good as they play in the first half. What else we got? Newcastle are seeking their 3rd successive win in all competitions and have scored 7 goals in their previous 2 games, which we all know
Yeah,
about.
well, we had a little streak where we had 3 games in a row we won. not too long ago, and if we can do it again, we're starting to sit pretty well.
This is another great stat for us. The Magpies have only lost one of their last 22 Premier League fixtures against promoted sides, winning 13 and drawn 8. That's a good stat. The drawing part is the problem because they always seem to draw at St James's Park, don't we? Isak has scored 20 Premier League goals in 2024. Only Erling Haaland and Cole Palmer, with 26 and 25 respectively, have more. Isak has registered 10 goals and 2 assists and 11 top flight appearances against promoted teams. So he likes playing against the lower league sides. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident. This is the first league meeting between sides since 2017. We know that. We know that already. We know that. We know about the suspensions and injuries. Head-to-head record, 2 matches. This is between the managers. We've got 1 win, 1 win. No, that was in the championship. So we got beat 3-1 at their ground, and then we beat them 3-0 at our ground. I mean, you can't really look at stats like that, can you? And, you know, it was that long ago. Stuart Atwell's the referee. I'm not a massive fan of him. Let's see, there's 3 of United's Premier League. So he's registered 3, he's refereed us 3 times. Brighton, we got beat 3-1. Doesn't say about the other ones. He refereed when we beat Arsenal 1-0. So that's not too bad. He's got 46 yellow cards issued, 2 red cards in 11 games. So he's averaging nearly, I would say, 4 cards a game.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 reds in 11 games. That's 50. That's really bad. Very, very interesting. Right, let's get our score predictions in because we're at that point of the show now. So, guys, get your score predictions in. While you're doing that, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget there's a membership option. Just hit join underneath the screen. Don't forget about Diacro and their amazing T-shirts. Baz20 for 20% off. And John, you've got a lot of these T-shirts, haven't you? Dan's got a lot of them.
I've got 2 or 3 now. I've got 3, I think. 3.
Brilliant. I've got 2 myself.
They've got one that's a Pink Floyd shirt.
Yes.
I love that one. So I got that one.
Yeah, there's some cracking ones.
Tying side of the moon instead of the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the new ones you brought out.
Yeah.
Don't forget about football prizes. An Alan Shearer signed custom lead framed shirt, chance to win an Andy Cole boot, Tino Ashby shirt, Peter Blazy shirt, Gaza shirt, Robert shirt, a couple of scarves. Just an incredible competition. A great sponsor to the channel. Link is in the description below. And then the final one, of course, is our amazing night on the 16th of Jan with Luke Edwards. All the boys are going to be there. Email Superfan Dan for tickets and let's get drunk because that's the whole point of it, to have a laugh. Right, John, you've done your video, but tell us, everyone, what the score's going to be.
Well, it's an away match. We don't always perform as well when we're away. But there's a lot of confidence in the team right now, and I'm very confident of the team. I think we'll win. I think it'll be 2-1. I think we can score at least 2 goals. And I'm just feeling that they play tough, so I think a close game, 2-1, we take it.
I don't know. You play games at all? Which all right, okay. I don't really play games. I do play 2 games. I play 2 stupid games on my mobile, but yeah, it was 8-0 against Sheffield United. We did beat Ipswich 9-1 though, and Andy Cole scored 5 goals.
That's going back a ways.
Oh yes,
yeah. I looked at the scores that they've had this year, and it's like they're pretty close. They're pretty tight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very tight game. So I've gone for a 2-0 win.
There you go.
Mr. Tonali, what's the score going to be? He thinks 2-0. I think it'll be a tight game. I think you're right. I don't think they've got enough. we don't know anything about this new striker. I mean, he could
Right.
come in and be a worldie. He could have one of those
I
games.
know that scares me.
Yeah, he could be a pony, and he might just be, rubbish. So I'm going along the lines that they don't have a lot of front. We, like you say, struggle on the road a little bit. We create enough chances, but I just think we'll take 2 of them. I think Gordon and Isak will score, and I think it'll be a 2-0 win. No, I'm not putting a bet on it because I'm sick of putting bets on Newcastle and watching them lose. So it's not happening. But there are scorelines. You guys have got some crazy scorelines in there. You just never know, though. 4-1, a 9-0. Why not? You just never know. But yeah, it's going to be tough.
You could jinx them and put some money on the game, but it's better to not bet on it, and then they win 2-0, just like you thought they would.
I should put a couple of quid on Ipswich to win, and then I'll lose. I love it. Dan Burn hat-trick tomorrow. I love it. I'll do my best to do a watch along tomorrow, and then on Sunday night we're doing the review show. Monday night I have a guest lined up, I believe. I just need to confirm it with him. He's called Elton Wellesby. I don't know if anyone knows him, but he's got a very good following on Twitter. He's got 20,000 following, and he used to be a football presenter before Sky took over.
Baz, you guys have been getting some really good guests on the show. You've had some really good interviews and stuff. It's been fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, we try our best. I'm hopefully also going to have Yin Winter as well, fingers crossed, who is the Newcastle commentator for the radio.
Oh, yeah,
so that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to line up a day with him. So that's going to be either Tuesday or after Christmas. So keep an eye out for stuff like that. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep an eye on the channel. You know what I do. I just put shows in and we'll see what happens. And we will see you again tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Good seeing you, Nick, Shay, Gary. Take care, Baz.
Everyone. Take care, man.